Okay, welcome back. So now we're going to do a very quick little sketch using the 5 values scale. And in one of the previous videos I talked about this painting from the Learn to Paint Club. It's a good little landscape that we did, simple little project. But what I'm going to do is just map that out in the 5 values scale so you can see how you would go about that. Now, I recommend before you do any larger paintings that you actually create a little sketch and you do a little black and white sketch so you can just make sure you get your value structure right in what you're proposing to paint. I've got an old board here. I'd drawn something on it previously, so we'll just ignore that. I've got my 5 value scale, and what I'm going to do is, we won't do the whole size because I just want to do this as a quick little sketch. So I'll just get a little bit of the black with some thinner, okay, and we'll just create a little frame here. So this is going to be how big we'll do it. Okay. No, if you wanted to, you could create this as an entire version of that first. But for the purpose of what I want to show you here, this is just a quick little sketch, and we're just going to use 5 values. We're not going to mix or blend or anything because I just want to show you an example of when you're trying to create the right composition and the right painting, getting an underlying value structure in it that works. So that particular painting, when in the video earlier, you will recall that we had our darkest dark, which was this tree that runs up here, and the foliage of it goes out like so, right? So it's a big tree there. So you don't need to do this perfect, just do it roughly. And then you can see whether the underlying structure of it's going to work or not. We had shadow that runs in through there like so, and this corner here was reasonably dark as well. Okay, so that's our first value. I'll just pull a little bit of that paint out of the brush. We'll go to the second value here, which was really the field, which runs through here. Okay. Now the thing with the field was that I put highlights on it, so it doesn't necessarily read as dark as this. So I'll come back and I'll highlight the field in a moment. Okay. For now we'll just block it in. Okay. Like so. Then we have the middle distance trees, which are, they're sort of halfway through. So what I'll do, I will just blend a little bit. So I've got a little bit of both of those. And let's just put these in. And they run away like so to about there. And there's one that picks up about there. Okay, now when you look closely at that painting there's lots of different tones and highlights and things in there, but what we're doing here is just treating everything as one big shape. So that row of middle distance trees, it's just one big shape is what we're working on here. Okay, just purely so we can see if there's depth. Now you can tell just by what I've done here that these two, because I mixed a little bit of them together, that's pretty close, but I will be highlighting on here, which will then just create that separation that we're looking for, okay? So we're up to, I think we need to mix that one next. Actually, it's probably this one here. It's actually middle between the two, so I'll just darken that slightly, so we're sort of halfway between. And then here we've got the main mountain here. That fits in there. Runs away a little bit in there like so. Runs through the valley. There's another peak there. Like so. And then there's a couple more that sit out the back. There like so. Okay, so that's that one. Then behind that we have two other rows of distant mountain ranges. If you ever get a chance to go to the Glasshouse Mountains, I highly recommend it. So, row of mountains behind there. And then there's one behind that, which is really going to be between those two. It's going to be around about that tone. Runs to about there. Like so. And then of course we have our sky. So if I went to the sky pure white, I've got a little bit of tinted paint on the brush there from the previous tone. Okay, I'm going to clip into that black a little bit as well. That would be a good time just to pull some paint off the brush and reload. A bit better. Now I should be using a bigger brush for that sky area. And I've run out of paint. Let's just get that paint on there. Okay, just make the sky a little bit interesting. Stand back and have a look. Okay, so we can see here, now it's going to be a little bit difficult on the camera, but if you were doing this up close, and this is why it's best to do this exercise yourself, you can see that we've got the, just putting on the highlights, we've got a nice value pattern emerging. So we'll highlight that grass a little bit. And we will highlight in here just so we get the general feel that there's some treetops in there. Okay. So yeah, you can see that we've got our darkest dark here, we've got our our hill here, which is the next tone, these middle distance trees, then our mountain range, and then our distant hills. So just by doing a simple little sketch, you can stand back and look at that and go, that's going to work as a composition, and it's going to, you know, have the correct value structure that is going to make the painting effective. So you can see darkest dark, this hill through here with the highlights, middle distance trees, the mountain range and the distant mountains, and then the lightest part is the sky. Really good exercise to do with any painting project that you're about to embark on. So what I'd recommend from here is that you find maybe some of your favourite artists' paintings in a book or something, or print them off the internet, and just do some little black and white value studies of their paintings. So you get to understand what value structure they were using in their paintings. Okay, it's a good exercise to do. And the other exercise that we talked about in the previous video was to take photos of your own paintings and turn them black and white. and then analyze the value structure in that photo. Is it working? And if it's not, then do a sketch and work on how can you improve the value structure so that the painting could work better next time you have a go at it. A really important tip for landscape and seascape painting and landscape and seascape is your darkest darks in the foreground, and then progressively layer by layer working back into the distance until we get to our sky, which is usually our lightest light. Okay, not always, but usually. So I hope this has been helpful. In our next video, we're going to create some color charts, mixing the values on each of our colors on our palette. We'll see you in the next video. Cheers.